The silver spoon felt heavy in my hand as I polished the tarnish away, and remembered his hand shaking at dinner. The attic air was thick with the scent of cedar and mothballs, and I had to duck my head under the low rafters. I unlatched the heavy wooden trunk, and the hinges screamed as if they were protesting being opened after 50 years. Inside, I found his winter coat folded neatly, and I put my hand in the pocket and found a single peppermint candy. I unfolded a map of the valley that was yellowed and torn at the edges and saw the path he walked every single day. I sat in his leather desk chair and felt the way the seat had molded to his shape over decades of quiet study time. There was a stack of letters on the desk that would never be answered, and I felt the sudden urge to burn them all. The grandfather clock in the corner had stopped at exactly 4 o'clock, and the silence it left behind was deafening. I walked out to the garden where the weeds had started to choke the roses he spent every summer afternoon tending. I picked up the rusty shears and cut back one long branch of thorns because I could not stand to see them so wild. Standing in the kitchen, I realized I was the only one left to decide what stayed and what was thrown out to the curb. I made 2 piles on the floor, one for things to keep and one for things to give away to people who needed them. I picked up a chipped glass vase and remembered my grandmother putting wild daisies in it every Sunday morning. I packed the china into a box with bubble wrap and felt the physical weight of his legacy pressing down on my arms. I sat on the porch swing and watched the sun dip below the hills while the wood creaked under my shifting weight. My coffee had gone cold, but I didn't mind the taste as I watched a deer emerge from the woods to eat the apples. The phone rang in the hallway, and for a split second I expected to hear his voice call out for me to answer it. I took down the coats from the hooks by the back door and saw the outlines of where they had hung for so many years. I walked to the shed and struggled with the padlock until it finally snapped open to reveal the scent of gasoline. The tools were lined up perfectly on the bench, and I ran my hand over the smooth metal of the hammer he used. I taped the last box shut and sat on the floor of the living room, which was now empty of everything but the light. My footsteps echoed as I walked through the rooms one last time to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything behind. I reached for the light switch and flicked it down, and the house vanished into the darkness of a quiet night. I started the car engine, and the exhaust rose in a white cloud as I looked back at the house through the window. I drove past the mailbox and saw the red flag was down and the gravel crunched under my tires as I hit the road.